Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. We're talking Thierry Mugler and H&M. Well, actually, no more Thierry because he passed away. It's just Mugler for H&M coming out this spring 2023. Speculation has it it's going to happen sometime in April, either right before Easter or right after Easter. Just as always, H&M is very stingy with information, but we do have something to say. First, subscribe to my channel here on the tubes, push the join button next to the subscription button, become a member today, gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together there as well for extra perks. Thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. Yeah, guys. Okay, so this is the tea, right? H&M is very stingy with showcasing like what the collections are going to be until the very last minute. You know what I mean? So probably beginning of March, they're going to drop the first pictures or just a sneak peek of the mood board or which models have been hired to wear the clothes. And it's probably going to be the Hadids, you know, the usual suspects. But what is it going to be? Now, I have a couple of ideas, and we're going to get into those in just a second. But I was also thinking, what do we think in general about H&M collaborating with a lot of these brands? A lot of these brands who are kind of fighting for sustainability, being more, I don't know, conscious, paying their workers properly, yada, yada. And then like they go to collaborate with H&M. Usually they go to collaborate with H&M when they need a little bit of a boost, kind of like to revamp the image of the brand amongst youth that would usually not be able to afford certain pieces. This is coincidentally why the really big brands never collaborate with H&M. Have you thought about it? Have you thought about why? Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only. Just my opinion, everything's alleged, not rooted in truths or facts, right? But just speculating, the bigger brands do not do these sort of collaborations. They don't need to. The money is flowing for them properly. You haven't seen Hermes for H&M. You haven't seen Louis Vuitton for H&M. You haven't seen Dior for H&M. You haven't seen Chanel for H&M. There's a reason why. You haven't even seen Rick Owens for H&M. Now, what do we think about Rick Owens for it? I don't think he would do that because, again, he's fighting for sustainability. You've never seen Vivienne Westwood for H&M. They don't condone those sort of practices that H&M is for. So the second that a brand says, oh, yeah, let me do something with H&M, alarm bells go up for me because first I start thinking, so the brand isn't doing that well and they need to kind of pep up their image. It's kind of a PR move for a fashion brand to do something with H&M is always analyze it, you guys, from a PR standpoint. The brand needs it more than H&M, right? For H&M, yeah, of course it's great, but at the end of the day, the pickings aren't that slim. H&M can choose which brands to work with, minus the ones that really don't need it, because every brand kind of needs it. Interesting how all of this collaboration with designers started in the 2000s era with Karl Lagerfeld. Now, Karl did not make a Chanel collection for H&M. He made a Karl Lagerfeld collection for H&M. His brand was not doing the best. You know what I mean? However, him being the first to kickstart something that big was very symbolic. So we could kind of almost say that Karl, also you could debate, it's debatable whether or not he has morals, but a lot of people think he didn't. Some people think he did. But I think for him, it was an ego trip, like more to say, hey, I can also conquer H&M. I can also turn H&M into this luxurious thing, because he was the first to do that. They've done some capsule collections here and there before Karl, but Karl was the big kind of designer that first did the collaboration. He kicked it off. And then, we've been through a lot of iterations. Comme des Garçons did a collection with H&M. Lanvin did a collection with H&M. Versace did a collection with H&M. Roberto Cavalli did a collection with H&M. Marta Margiela did a collection with H&M. Moschino. I mean, major brands went through it, but not the big players. You haven't seen Yves Saint Laurent do a collaboration with H&M. You haven't seen Gucci do a collab with H&M. But Mugler needs it. So Mugler is doing the collab. Now, the H&M press release, and I'm going to read it to you, states H&M and Mugler will collaborate on a collection for spring 2023. So this is, as you can see, I'm reading it straight from the H&M website. H&M is proud to share that its next designer collaboration will be with the House of Mugler, the Mugler H&M collection, crafted under the direction of Mugler's creative director, Cassie Cadwallader. I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's another one of those, you know what I mean? Just like the Schiaparelli dude. It's just, they're all the same for me. Will encapsulate the unique and vibrant spirit of Mugler. Sure. The collection will be available online and in selected stores in spring 2023. H&M history of designer collaborations is legendary and pioneering. For nearly 2 decades, H&M has been democratizing high fashion by offering global audiences the chance to own special pieces of high-end designer history. More information will be shared later. This was posted on 22nd February. Since then, H&M has not updated this news, nor have they posted other news, but they will, obviously. Now, sooner than later, right? Because, I mean, spring is coming and April is around the corner. I understand, don't get me wrong, if you're a student, and I've been there as well, and you don't have the budget for these big things, you're interested in fashion, you don't have the budget for the actual labels, but you love them, or you love some of them. So it is an interesting alternative. Not that H&M Mugler is going to be any cheaper. I mean, of course, it's going to be more affordable than Mugler's first line, but it's also going to cost more than H&M's regular collections, obviously. Don't forget, this is all marketing. This is not really what they're saying here. They're trying to sell it to us as if it were democratizing high-end fashion, so everybody can have it, can afford it. No. The marketing strategy behind this is to make it very limited, to create the hype. All that H&M and Mugler want is to have great news reports and photos taken in front of H&M, a frenzy, queues waiting outside of the stores. As you know, when H&M does these sort of things, these collaborations with these high-end fashion brands are only in a select few H&M stores, not in all cities, not everywhere. You got to go to some major cities. There's only some select stores that are going to sell the collection. The amount of pieces available is going to be limited. They're going to create their queue system. I've been through it myself when H&M released their Versace collaboration. Those were the days. I was in line at 8 and 7. Oh my God, dare I say 6 a.m. in the morning? Yeah, those were the days. I would never do it anymore. But hey, we was young, we needed the money. And also we didn't have the money. So it was really interesting to see. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not judging students who are into fashion and really want to do this. And they have the money, they have the budget for this sort of stuff. Like, I get it. Still, being more conscious as I am today, I would still not do it. I would still not buy H&M. I would still not condone any of it. No fast fashion. But let me go back to the marketing strategy. So they want this to be limited. Mugler is counting on it to create this, oh, it's sold out in an hour and there wasn't enough for everybody. Yeah, because they don't make enough for everybody. It's made in smaller quantities on purpose so that from a marketing point of view, the effect and the impact that this collaboration will have in the media is of creating FOMO. Here you go. The good old FOMO that we all know, fear of missing out, which is what creates the frenzy around a brand. And this is what ultimately, this symbiotic relationship between H&M and these designers, this is kind of what it creates a frenzy for both, right? I do not know exactly what sort of contract is stipulated and happens between the brand and H&M, like who pays who and how do the sales work? Like, I wonder, you know what I mean? If H&M opens up, this is all behind the scenes, right? If H&M opens up their portal and says, you guys, to all the fashion brands out there, we are now accepting submissions from fashion houses. If you want to have a collaboration with us, you can submit now and we'll evaluate. And one lucky winner will do it. Charlie's Chocolate Factory. Or is it more like H&M approaches the brand from the get-go? You know, they're just like, hey, Mugler, you know, we were thinking about, I wonder who approaches who. How does this start? You know, how is it initiated? Once it's initiated, depending on who contacts who first, Well, the person that contacts you means you have the upper hand because they want you. So you can negotiate a better deal for yourself. You see what I mean? So I wonder who negotiated a better deal between the two. Was it Mugler or H&M? Then, does H&M pay Mugler for royalties to be able to use their logo on their products? Or does Mugler pay H&M to be present in their stores worldwide for that short period of time during which they have the collections available in the stores, which is all contractually stipulated, you guys. There's a very, very clear, delineed contract that stipulates from when to when this collaboration is happening, from when to when it's allowed to be sold. Also, for image purposes, it gets taken off the sales floors. I've witnessed, nevertheless, every time these collaborations happen. Oh, Victor and Rolf, I remember as well for H&M. A lot of their pieces hit sales when sales started. But they were like, they had their corner in the shop in H&M and exclusively, beautifully highlighted. And then, I don't know, a week or two later, it's gone, right? Next stuff is happening and then when sales hit, kind of miraculously, they take out from the back, because they always have one in the back. They take the leftover pieces and then they kind of just smuggle them in between the other sales stuff, and you find sales. I also found Comme des Garçons for H&M on sale, Karl Lagerfeld for H&M on sale, even Versace for H&M on sale, Lanvin for H&M on sale. I found all of them on sale back in the day. So I'm also kind of speculating that, it's all to create a frenzy in the beginning. People go nuts at the opening when the collection is launched. The FOMO is going to, kick everybody's butts. And then you're going to still be able to find pieces later. But that's all here nor there. The point being is be careful. Don't fall for the FOMO unless you're really in love with the current Mugler and you really want to get a more affordable piece from Mugler. But don't forget, these pieces are going to be in much inferior quality than the actual real deal. This I also know firsthand because I've been purchasing these collaborations, right, in the past, and they're just never it. They fall apart, they break. I mean, if you buy, accessories like metallic pieces, they're going to tarnish super easily. I mean, the coating and the chrome on top of metal pieces is just terribly done. Karl was clever. He did a couple of stainless pieces, stainless steel rings. Those obviously don't get damaged, but Versace's costume jewelry, travesty for H&M. Like really, really even if you don't use it and just put it to the side, it oxidizes on its own. It's that poorly done. Now, the current collection that we saw online, right, for the next season from Thierry Mugler is where I think we can get hints at what we're going to see at H&M as well. For example, here's one model. Sorry for the fingerprint touch screen of my iPad mini, but let me zoom in what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get this accessory. I think we're going to have the leather gloves. This is taken directly from Thierry Mugler, by the way. So this is the zipper up glove. I think they're going to have a play on zipping up leather. There's going to be leather pieces in this collection. I feel it. There's also going to be denim. It's going to be very denim heavy, and we're going to have lycra or some sort of stretchy material like we've seen in the seasons past with Mugler, with the comeback of Mugler. These kind of sheer, transparent, where you can see parts of the skin kind of poking through, stretchy materials. Now imagine that in an inferior quality and then ripping while you're out and about. But then denim is the cheapest, right, for them to make. So here is an example also from the latest collection. This is not H&M, obviously. This is Thierry Mugler. Sorry, the lights really reflect like crazy. But for example, you can see there's this jacket, but under the jacket, we have a corset in denim and the pants, shorts, Y2K moment also in denim. I think we might be seeing some sort of corseted top, something that's a little bit tighter around the waist and then opens up on the shoulders, a little bit 80s vibes. Would love an 80s moment with like over the top shoulders, very Thierry Mugler. I think that might happen. When it comes to parts of like skin showing, here is an example of what I think is going to be the stretchy material. See on this, in this case, you can see around the torso area and the belly, you have those kind of cutouts and a stretchy kind of netting going around there, and also all over the legs. I think that sort of like flames, like cut in pieces, are going to be present in the collection. There's also going to be definitely, in my opinion, like entry-level price pieces. You're going to have the t-shirt. You know, there's going to be a white t-shirt, a black t-shirt. The white one is going to say Mugler X H&M. And the black one is going to say also Mugler X H&M, but white t-shirt with black text, black t-shirt with white text. They're probably going to have a couple of those also like as freebies for like VIPs and stuff. So there's also going to be a version of the t-shirt for the crew that's selling that day. They're also going to have their launch event where they invite VIPs and they're all going to get their goodie bags. And that's going to happen right before the main launch. So that means everybody's going to FOMO even more. I mean, it's all ridiculous. They always repeat the same shit over and over again. Here's another denim piece. Now, this is way too complex. They're not going to be creating this ruffled version of a jacket, but I'm just showing you. For example, the skirt is more easy because it's of course they're going to trim it, make it simpler. They're not going to create so much details in it, but they could do a mini skirt for chicks and then a jacket like this with a little bit less ruffles, so it's cheaper to produce. But I think like lighter denim is gonna be a thing. The Mugler show also had a couple of guys hit the runway. So here's one leather jacket. So usually when these collaborations happen, there is like a higher tier priced product. With Versace for H&M, it was a leather biker jacket with like metal studs all over it. I did get that jacket back in the day. It was around $300. I remember it tore literally after 2 times wearing it on the side here because the leather was so thin. So you did this once and it just kind of ripped. That's what I'm telling you. Be careful. You know what I mean? Don't spend too much money on this. I think if you really want a little funny piece from the collection, not because it's the cheapest thing of the entire collection, but I would definitely recommend just get the t-shirt because that cotton is going to last you longer than their leather. I'm just speculating here, but just from what I've seen them do in the past, that's my experience. Although I did have a relatively good experience with the Marta Margiela leather. Do you remember the oversized white leather shirt that Margiela for H&M did? It looked like an oversized shirt. It was padded, so it was also a jacket that was a very thick leather and then painted in white. I still have that in my archives. That one does not break. But granted, it's an oversized piece. It's super baggy and very, very thick. So I don't believe that Mugler would play with really thick leathers, however, because all of this looks very supple and soft. So I don't think that thicker leather fits to their visual of these kind of alien-like futuristic looks that are like super tight fit. You know what I mean? And what I would really like to see H&M do with Mugler, but they did it with Versace. They did a couple of bags with Moschino as well. But a lot of other designers did not create bags with H&M. Now, if Mugler were to create a bag, would I break my promise not to buy fast fashion? Probably not. But if they make something like their current bag, this is the denim version, by the way, my favorite. Let me make it a little bit darker so you get to see it better. This one is, they also have it in full-on leather, right? This is Thierry Mugler's main line. But something like this in denim would be really cute. I don't know. I also think they should do pins, brooches, futuristic pins, futuristic brooches, something that we could like purchase and have as a memento, as a memory piece, you know, like some futuristic brooch or something. Accessories like that would be really cool, more than just clothes. For people who collect these, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I don't think they're going to make a bag. Too difficult. The trims and the cuts, futuristic shapes. I don't know if they're going to do it. Although Moschino did have the padlock bag, which was also complicated to make, but they did do it with H&M. So maybe Mugler will find a way to do a bag like this, but I think Mugler is more about the slutty alien look of like, you know, having those, showing a lot of skin, a lot of lycra, denim really tight, high-waisted. Probably it's going to be that and the t-shirts. And then, yeah, the oversized shoulder jackets. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to pop up at H&M for Thierry Mugler? And also I want to know if you're going to buy it, if you're going to buy the collection, if you're going to be standing in line early in the morning, waiting until you get your little ticket, because they used to do that in the past. They would distribute tickets and you would get your allocated slot time, and then they will let you in for a certain, like 15 minutes. Yeah, I think you had 15 minutes time for Versace, and then you had to leave. And then they let the next round enter. I mean, it was a travesty. Anyway, and the funniest thing about that is that the next day I found out in my Versace boutique that the Versace boutique carried the Versace for H&M collection as well. And it was such a chill experience because all of their customers just entered and bought whatever they wanted. There was no standing in line, obviously, but they did not announce that that was going to happen. Could you imagine? Now, granted, Thierry Mugler or Mugler does not have boutiques everywhere. You know, the brand is not doing that well. So it's not like you have a Mugler boutique in every city. So if they do this sort of thing, they're going to pull it off in what, like 2 or 3 boutiques worldwide? I don't know how many they have really, but interesting how sneaky, how like Versace just like, yeah, we also had the collection here. And it was like super chill experience, no pushing and shoving. Anyway, let me know if you're going to go buy Mugler for H&M and what you think is going to pop up. As soon as we have more news, I might deliver. Let me know if you want to know more. Take care, never give up on love, and subscribe.